Welcome to my website. My name is Lauren Saracione, and I am a fitness professional by day. I've been in fitness for 25 years. I really love working with the joints and the glutes because working with the joints and the glutes have completely changed how my neck functions after I had a neck injury the injury was in 2017, but I had chronic pain leading up to it. But here's what I want to share with you about the body energetic system for astrology. This excites me so much, and it really feels like this is why I chose to be alive during this time. So, in astrology, a lot of times we talk about how you need to know your big three: your sun sign, which is how you like who you are. Your moon sign, which is your unconscious, and then your rising sign of how you actually present yourself to the world. Those are the big three. But the only way that you can actually embody those three is if you process the unintegrated energy. And unintegrated energy is thoughts and feelings in the unconscious, a place that we don't really know about. That's really the archetypal level of the shared human experience of joy, happiness, horror, sorrow, all of the emotions that a human can go through. But because we're pretty disconnected nowadays, we actually just experience those emotions as unique to us and something wrong with us. But they're part of the unconscious. And that is the part that I absolutely love and that I'm actually really skilled at addressing with people. So I want to share with you how the Body Energetics astrology program is so unique and why you should do it. The three the three placements that I work with my clients with, the main placements, we talk about them all, but the main placements are Lilith, Chiron, and your North Node. Now, Chiron is masculine energy, and a lot of interpretations is that wherever Chiron is, the wounded healer, wherever he is, that's where you're going to have struggles in your life over and over again. But because Chiron has to do with heroism, how do we say it? Chiron was a hero in the Greek pantheon. And because of that kind of take on him, what I think about is that wherever Chiron is in your chart is actually where there is the most centralized conglomerate, the most amount of negative and hard energy, the energy that we really have to go through to change our mindset. And that's where the power is. And so I don't look at him as this is the area of our life that we're always going to struggle with. I look at it as if we process the energy in this area of the chart where Chiron is, that's your superpower. And my Chiron is in Taurus, second house, which has to do with the body and has to do with resources. And I am very well resourced and very educated and very embodied in my expertise around the body. I feel very confident that I can help any body that comes in my direction as a client. Now, Lilith is the area of our chart that we look at where we have our repressed feelings, our emotions. This is the repressed feminine. So, in the Talmud, which is a book that precedes the Hebrew Bible, it is said that God created Adam and Lilith out of the same substance, dirt. But since Lilith did not want to be subservient to Adam, God and Adam said, "No, you are not equal. You are less than." She flew out of the Garden of the Garden of Evil. Was that a Freudian slip? She flew out of the Garden of Eden, and it is said that she turned into a monster. She eats babies. She's the reason why we have evil. They made up all these stories about her. But if you think about it as this is the representation of where we repress our feelings. What are our feelings? Our feelings are our intuition. And so if we actually look at the area of our chart where the repressed feelings are, then we can really understand why we sabotage ourselves in any area of life, why we have addictive behaviors because we're looking for that dopamine and serotonin, which both have to do with food, which is why I incorporate the Lilith placement with my clients who are really struggling with food. Because when you struggle with food, it's mostly a struggle with your emotions. So our Lilith placement helps us see our repressed feelings, which impacts our belief in ourselves. And our Chiron represents how we have self-limiting beliefs. So we get our masculine mindset energy and we get our feminine feeling energy. Now, the third placement that I really love to work with my clients or focus on with my clients is the North Node. And the North Node is where we set ourselves, where our soul set this particular human experience for our soul's evolution. This is an uncomfortable placement. The South Node is where we have lots of experience, where we've had other lifetimes of having that type of a life and all the things that go in with that type of a life. So the North Node is actually just where we have to lean in so that we can grow. It is where it is uncomfortable. But we use the North Node in body energetics as your automatic yes and no. So if it's aligned with your North Node, it's a yes. If it's not aligned with your North Node, it's a no. And that really helps us build a lifestyle that can support our dream body, which we need our mindset to make the decisions to keep us moving forward in that trajectory. And we also need to be in touch with our intuition of what's a yes and what's a no, so that we don't fall into all this crazy marketing that says we have to look a certain way, or we have to be skinny, or we have to do something in a certain way, and that's the only way we're going to get results. It really helps us get into our bodies. Now, here's the thing about the astrology program. The astrology program is for the people who know about astrology and maybe even know about human design. They know that there is a contrived contrast between MAGA and the far left. They see beyond the propaganda. They don't want to give their critical thinking away to AI. This is for the person, primarily a woman, who is like, we are at a change of civilization. Let's go. I want to proactively use the placements in my natal chart to keep up with the evolutionary transits. Now, you might be into astrology, but if you don't know about the evolutionary transits, this is the most incredible thing that we're alive for today. Because the outer planets that affect generations of people, they have all moved. And we had a conjunction of Saturn, which is structure, and Neptune, which is intuition and spirituality, conjunct at 0 degrees Aries on February 20th of 2026. I literally had a countdown on my calendar to when this was going to take place because it is that monumental. We are in the beginning of a new era, and the only way that a new civilization forms, or that civilization forms, is by that archetypal energy in the unconscious, our thoughts and feelings that are in the unconscious. You think about the unconscious as like this perfect container. It's like a pot of gold. It contains everything. And civilizations form by a collective belief, a belief in the same thing. So I always relate this to gym people really like to go to the gym. Pilates people really like to go to a Pilates studio. They're two totally different vibes, but it has to take a group of people to actually get the money together to open a gym or open a Pilates studio. So it's the same thing for the civilization. So as you can see, I get really excited about this because, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, we are alive as the old world is falling apart and we get to create the new world. And I just think that that's extraordinary. So you can do the body energetics program as the astrology portion so that you can proactively build the next civilization. We are fully capable of doing this. We still use the body to integrate all this energy because all of the energy is stored in the unconscious mind, which is also the body.